Today I wanted to talk about what I read in January. So I have the best bookmarks in the world, and I also keep track on them. So look at how cute these are. I love these. So I use them as bookmarks, and then you can rate, you can put your title, date you read the books. I love them. But I have one for nonfiction and one for fiction. So I keep all of my books on here. So I wanted to just quickly go over what I read this month. So first month of 2025, January. Let's see what we got and how I liked them. So we're going to start with fiction. So I read 3 books this month in fiction. First was The Collected Regrets of Clover by Mickey Brommer. I read that for a book club and I gave it 3 stars. It was cute. It was a different, interesting idea. It was all about a woman who was a death doula. And so her career was to go and be with people for the last days of their life, kind of like a hospice nurse, but kind of help them process and grieve and accept their fate. So it was interesting, but wasn't anything super spectacular. I don't know. I just wanted a little bit more out of it. Second book that I read of fiction was The Impossible Life by Matt Haig. I had so high of hopes for this because I really enjoyed The Midnight Library, which he also wrote. This one was good. It was fine, I guess. I gave it only 2.5 stars. But just like the first one, I kind of wanted more. It's about this woman who travels to this island to figure out what happened to her friend. And she kind of gets in tune with the universe and all of the magic that's in the world and how we all are not created, but like connected. I just really wanted more. The third book, or the last book that I read, was actually a book that I had owned, and that's one of my goals this year is to read at least one book that I own a month, and this one was The Guest List by Lucy Foley. I, again, only gave it 2.5 stars. I liked it enough to the point where I'm not mad I read it. I didn't, not finish it, but I don't know. I was, again, hoping for more. It's basically all of these people going to this island for a wedding, and you know from the very beginning that something bad happened. And you find out pretty quickly that there was probably a murder. And I actually think it says it on the book that somebody was murdered. But you kind of look at the story through a couple different people, through the bride's eyes, the maid of honor's eyes, through the wife of one of the friends, through the best man, and try to figure out who did it and how it all went down and why it went down. And it was fine, but nothing crazy, nothing to be super excited about. I read a lot of nonfiction though, and I'm not even going to go into all of them because, I'll read the titles, but I won't even go into what all they were about. The Year of Magical Thinking by Joan Didion. It's all about, she lost her son, and it's all about the grief that she went through and trying to help people process their own grief. It was an art. It was okay. Simply Brilliant by William C. Taylor. That was actually interesting because it was all about the brilliant ideas and companies and CEOs and what they've done with their companies and what are the good ideas that they had. I liked it. Making Habits, Breaking Habits by Jeremy Dean. It's all about the habits that we get into and how do we break them? How do we deal with them? It was okay. Signs by Laura Lynn Jackson. She's actually a medium, and she talks about connecting with the universe and the signs from loved ones that have passed and things like that. I'm more of a spiritual person, so I liked it. Definitely not for everyone. The Magic of Big Thinking. Again, it's more of that positivity, thinking big, what you can accomplish. The Artist's Way. Another one that was more about what can you do, what feeds your soul, what's the creative way to go about things. The Obstacle is the Way by Ryan Holiday. That's the one I want to talk about. That one was fantastic. You will hear about this book a lot in a lot of different podcasts and videos about books that'll change your life. That one comes up a lot, along with like the Meditations of Marcus Aurelius, a couple different ones that always come up. And it's very, very good. Ryan Holiday is an expert on Stoicism and about how to live life and live it to the fullest and make sure that it has meaning. And it was actually very, very good. I'm actually reading I have his 365 Days of Meditation I think that's what it's called, 365 Days of Meditation. And if you can hear that grumbling in the background, that is my dog, upset that I'm not playing with him. But I do definitely suggest The Obstacle is the Way. That one was very, very good. How to Get Rich by Dennis Felix, money-making book of really striving for what you want. It is hard truth about really having to go for it and really having to put everything into what you're doing and why. And it was his story, which was not necessarily appealing to me. It's about the magazine business that he did in Europe, specifically, I think England. It was okay. Getting Things Done by David Allen is just another way to process different things that are going on in your life and actually get your projects done or get your to-do list organized and things like that. Trump, How to Get Rich by Donald Trump. Just kind of, I think that was his second book. It was his take on some of the things that have happened in his life well before he was president. And after, of course, he was a millionaire and had tons of businesses and things like that. It was just interesting now that he has been named president again to read some of his earlier stuff. And Essentialism. Wow. That's another one that it was fine, I guess. Talking about why we live in the world and our connection with it and all those kinds of things. I read a lot of nonfiction and none of it really wows me anymore. I think I've read all of the big bestsellers. So I'm still trying to find some more that are breaking waves, This next month, I think I'm reading one from Mel Robbins, which she is super, super popular right now. So we'll see how that goes. But for the most part, Obstacle is the Way was my definite favorite read of this month. And we'll see what happens next month.